How's it going, everybody? CJ here, back. Another video. That was a bad snap. Back with another video. We're doing another first thoughts today. This first thoughts is on Sythis, Hand of the Harvest. Before we hop into this video, remember to like this video and comment down below if you like the little changes that I'm doing to the first thoughts series. Also, link in the description of this video. We've got the giveaway, the compiled link. We have the giveaway. We've got the Patreon TCG Player affiliate link in my personal store if you want to support the channel on any of those routes. We've also got the Twitch, Twitter, TikTok, and the Discord if you want to chat with us. So check all that out. We're going to hop into this. So Sythis, Hand of the Harvest. This card seems great. So remember, I need you guys to comment down below if you like these little changes that I'm making of doing a little intro of listing off the categories I'll be talking about and then doing the meme build at the end of the video. So please let me know if you like either of those or both of those so I can either continue them or discontinue them. Just let me know. So the categories I'll be talking about today are Enchantresses, and then creatures that synergize very well with enchantments. Then we have enchantments that synergize well with enchantments and just generically good enchantments that would be good for this deck. Then some one-off cards, and then the meme build. For this video though, the meme build is it's less memey than I actually would have expected it to be. This deck actually could be very powerful for what the meme build is, and we'll get to that in a bit. So we're going to start off with the Enchantresses. So Sythis is an Enchantress. An Enchantress is a creature that when you either cast an enchantment spell or an enchantment enters the battlefield under your control, you draw a card. So some of the good Enchantresses you can throw in this deck are Eidolon of Blossoms, Mesa Enchantress, Enchantresses Presence, which is not really an Enchantress, but it's an enchantment that is an Enchantress, so it works really well. Verduran Enchantress, Satyr Enchanter, Argothian Enchantress, Sythis Champion, and Ephemerate Enchantress. The Ephemerate one is actually when an enchantment gets destroyed, so that's kind of a cool one. It's a little different than the others. All those seem great in this deck, and they're going to provide you tons of card draw. You're going to be drawing a lot of cards in this deck, which is always going to be a good time. So you can throw in cards like Ominous Seas as well. That seems fun. I like this deck. There's going to be a very, very... Well, actually, no, you can't throw in Ominous Seas because it's blue. But I like this deck. This deck seems like it's going to be a lot of fun. Some of the other creatures that synergize very well with enchantments. You've got Herald of the Pantheon, Starfield Mystic, Oromancer and Monk Idealist to bring stuff back. Johnny's Chosen. That'll make you a bunch of tokens. Same thing with Archon of Sun's Grace. Celestial Ancient seems pretty cool. And Academy Rector can get you whatever big enchantment you really need. Then some enchantments that we have that work really well in an Enchantress style deck. There's Sigil of the Empty Throne to make a bunch of tokens. Sterling Grove to protect your enchantments along with Greater Oromancy. You got Starfield of Nyx, which along with Opalescence can make your enchantments into creatures, which is really cool. There's Destiny Spinner to make them uncounterable. And Sphere Safety, so that way people just almost cannot attack you because of the amount of enchantments you'll have in play. That seems great. And then some enchantments that just seem very powerful in the deck. You have Heliod the Suncrowned, which is an enchantment creature, but it's got a really powerful ability of whenever you gain life, you get to put counters on things, and you're gaining life whenever you cast an enchantment, so that works really well in this deck. There's Smothering Tide, just generically very powerful enchantment. Ghostly Prison and Propaganda to add to the Pillow Fort stuff like Sphere Safety. There's Seal of Cleansing and Aura of Silence, which can blow up some enchantments and artifacts if you need to and also slow down your opponents. Darksteel Mutation and Dryad of the... Song of the Dryad seem great. Those are very, very powerful removal spells that just kind of stop a commander dead in its tracks. Your opponent can't replay the commander. It's just now a forest, or it's just now an indestructible insect. Those cards are fantastic. You can also throw in a ramp package that's all enchantment based, like with cards like Wild Growth, Fertile Ground, and Utopia Sprawl. All of those seem fantastic. Oblivion Ring, Banishing Light, those seem like fantastic removal spells. Great cards to include. Arasta the Endless Web is a very cool card in my opinion. I don't think it sees enough play as much play as it should. It creates a lot of tokens and just seems powerful. It's synergistic. It's an enchantment creature. It's cool. There's Elsiad of Life's Bounty, good protection card. It's an enchantment creature, seems fun. Aura Shards, turn your creatures into artifact and enchantment removal. That card's bonkers. Fellow Retreat, an enchantment that either gives you all your creatures counters if you have a big board already, or adds tokens to the board if you have a small board. Seems awesome in the deck. Then you have Authority of the Consuls and Blind Obedience to slow your opponents down, make their stuff intertapped. And Rest in Peace, good graveyard hate card there. Seems great in the deck. And next up, I'm going to be talking about some one-off cards that seem fantastic for this deck. First of all, we got Hall of Heliod's Generosity. You can recur any enchantments that you lost, so that way you can get them back. Seems like a great card in this deck. You can also use Sarah's Sanctum, and it's on a land, so that's really nice. You can also use Sarah's Sanctum if you have no budget, which is a very powerful land for this deck. Idyllic Tutor and Enlightened Tutor seem great to get out whatever enchantments you need. You can also use Replenish and Open the Vaults to bring them back from your graveyard. Calyx, Destiny's Hand, very synergistic Planeswalker for enchantments. Anointed Procession, you have a lot of token creation actually. So Anointed Procession could put in a ton of work, and it's also an enchantment which works really well with the deck. And lastly, this kind of feeds into the meme deck actually, because there's some cards that work really well with the life gain aspect of Sythis, being Crested Sunmare, Regna, Archangel of Thune, and Trudge Garden. All these seem like auto includes in the deck as well. But for the meme deck, it is building this deck not as a real Enchantress deck, but as a life gain deck. You're building this as Selesnya life gain and just trying to gain as much life as you can and win the game with cards like Felidar Sovereign, Test of Endurance, maybe even Aetherflux Reservoir. Probably not that one though, because you're not going to be storming as much. But Felidar Sovereign and Test of Endurance seem like funny win cons for this deck. You've got enchantments that gain you life, including Nyx Fleece Ram, Ajani's Mantra, Ajani's Welcome, Angelic Chorus, Answered Prayers, Ashes of the Abhorrent, Contemplation, Courser of Krufix, Daxos, and I already mentioned Authority of the Consuls. And there's also creatures that seem synergistic in the deck that can gain you life, like Soul Sister cards, Essence Warden, Soul Warden, Soul's Attendant, and Suture Priest. Those seem fantastic. Good way to just boost up your life total. And then there's a lot of cards that synergize really well with the life gain, and that you would kind of have to lean heavier into the life gain for a lot of these cards to be really usable, because they trigger if you gain like 3 life in a turn or 4 life in a turn, so you need more outlets than just casting like 1 or 2 enchantments. So some of those cards include Angelica, and a lot of these are actually enchantments, so the first ones I'm going to talk about are all enchantments, like Angelica Chord, Cradle of Vitality, Dawn of Hope, Griffin Airy, and Path of Bravery. Those seem like cool includes for this deck. And then some other cards that synergize really well with life gain if you're gaining a lot of life. You got Blossoming Bogbeast, Righteous Valkyrie, Well of Lost Dreams, Accomplished Alchemist, Ezra Root Channeler, and Resplendent Angel, and Valkyrie Harbinger. All those seem pretty cool. Like, you could actually build this as a Selesnya life gain deck. People are going to think, oh, we're going to want against this enchantment deck, but you're actually just all about life gain, which could be a really interesting, different way to build this deck. So, yeah, it's not really super memey, but it's just an alternate way to build a deck, and it's the best alternate way. Like, it's definitely not the best way to build a deck, in my opinion, but it's probably one of the better alternative ways to build a deck, and it seems interesting. And that is what I have for Sythis Hand of the Harvest. So remember, comment down below if you like me adding like the meme deck tech at the end of it, and if you like my little summary at the beginning for what the categories I'll be talking about are. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, everybody.